Hi and good evening. Thank you so much for your company. It's lovely to see you. So we're going to be creating a step-up card, a centre step-up card. If you've never seen one before, this is the idea. So it's got two panels on the sides, and you've got this lovely big panel in the centre, and then a horizontal one here. I think with a lot of fancy fold cards, they look more complicated than they are. So my ambition tonight is to show you how to make this card a horizontal version in UK sizes. So hopefully this will help some of you out there get to grips with a fancy fold card. So this is just my prototype, and I've written down all the measurements, and we're going to follow these and see how we get on with making our card. So I've done them, I looked on YouTube a bit earlier to see if I could find a tutorial which was UK sizes and Canada and Europe sizes as opposed to USA inch sizes. Now I know I was sent a template by a friend of this size here, which I know will fit in a 6x6 envelope. So if you prefer this kind of elongated centre, then you can make that. But I wanted to do something that would fit in our UK size C6 envelopes. So I've gone for this size here. So tonight we're going to be doing Whisper White cardstock, and then I'm going to be decorating it with some of our new DSP. So that means designer series paper. So you do have to be careful with the measurements, because if you, for whatever reason, don't get them quite right, then it does affect the fold of the card. Oh, excuse me, I've got an itchy back. You know when you've just got an itch and you've got to itch it? Sorry. Welcome, lovely to see you everybody. Let me just say a quick hello to those of you who've hopped on. Hi Lovely, Jeannie, Melanie, Kerry, Pamela, Janice and Laurie, lovely to see you. Right, so thick whisper white, where are we? I'm just going to get, so we're going to cut one sheet in half. So because we're cutting a sheet in half, it does mean you can get two cards out of one piece of cardstock. So in our UK size, it's just over a smidgen 5 7/8 of an inch, so about there really. So I'm just going to just keep referring to my prototype so you have an idea of how things look. So that is that, okay? Now we're going to use the new Stampin' Up! Trimmer because it's got all the measurements on it that I need to be able to cut my card. I'm just going to follow my template here. If you want to take a screenshot, these are the measurements of what I'm going to do for the card tonight, okay? So I can show you that again later if you want. So I'm going to draw you right in so you have an idea of what's going on with the trimmer. Now the trimmer has got the track running down the middle here, and helpfully it's got the measurements on either side up until about 1.5 inches there. And if you look at the arm, it has got the measurements along here as well, which is perfect because that's what we need. Now the trimmer comes with the two blades. This is to score with, so to fold your card, and this one's your cutting blade. And if you look closely, you can see 4 notches on either side of each one, and this lines up with the measurements on the side, which is what we need. So going in with the short side at the top, I'm putting it in at the 1 inch station, I was going to say, the 1 inch stop on my right hand side, okay? So popping it at the 1 inch mark, and then also wanting to position my cutting blade at the 1 inch mark also. So that line should correspond opposite with your mark on your arm of your trimmer. So we're going down to a bit of a funny measurement. We're going down to 4 7/8. So 4 7/8 is the, if you count 2 notches along. Let me just double check that is right. Yep. So the big notch there, so 4 7/8 on my ruler is the bigger notch before the 5 inches. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So we're cut from 1 inch in and 1 inch out, I've written down to 4 7/8. So just at this point, this slides around a little bit because it's on a hinge, and it means you can't take the arm out for cleaning and things. So just hold on to that arm in one position as you're about to do your cutting. So I'm going to go from 1 inch down to 4 7/8. So I'm just going to put my finger there for reference. And then just take your time when you reach it so that to make sure it's corresponding. Now, from your angle, it might not look like it's at the right mark, but from where I can see it, it is. Okay, and then we're going to pop this out. Now, my trimmer blade probably does need changing, and it does cause a bit of fluff on the other side. You can give that a rub or use an eraser or your rubber to help just rub that out if necessary. Now, because we want the same slit on the opposite side here, you want to literally flip your card over, okay? So you've still got your 1 inch bit at the top. So we're going to go in again at the 1 inch mark at the top of the trimmer in there. Now, because I haven't moved my cutting blade, I've left it where it is. It has actually moved itself because I've opened the arm. I'm just going to move that back to where it should be at 4 7/8. So remember the 2 tiny notches after the 5. Hopefully you can see all that. And we're going to run it back down to number 1 and stop where number 1 is. Like so. Okay. And that's all the cutting for this particular card. So I'm going to bring in my Simply Scored tool, which helps you to be able to see, and I just find it a bit easier if you're doing any kind of scoring. And what I've gone and done is use my Stampin' Up! Grid paper and trim down a piece of the grid paper that you can see underneath. It's double-sided. You've got a centimetre side and then you've got an inch side. And I've just aligned it with my scoring tool so that when I do my scoring down this end, I can do it easily. Okay, so scoring. The first lot of scores, to make it as easy as possible for you to follow, I'm doing outside of the cutting lines, okay? So the first initial 3 are all just the outside of the cutting lines. It's really important that you do that. So our first one, nice and easy, we're going from 1 inch. I'm going to bring you in a bit so you can see. So 1 inch up until the cutting line. So from 1 inch to the cutting line. And then you want to do the same at the other end as well. So using my guide here, I'm going to go from 1 inch up to that cut line. Okay. Now the next one is 1 3/4. So it's that line along here, up again to the cutting line. Okay, and then the same on the other side, 1 3/4. So 1 inch and 1 3/4. Now the last one we want to do is 4 7/8. So the same as where the cutting line has ended. Okay, and again we're going to do it outwards. Okay, so I just want to make sure I get the right one here. Right, so it's the notch just before the 5. If you have the scoring tool, it's the tiny notch just before the 5. Okay, and again we're just going to bring that down to the cutting line. Okay, so I can see comments coming through and I will catch up with you afterwards, but it's really important I get this right. So again, doing the same at the bottom end, it's just that single notch and it should match up to where your cutting line is. So we've done our 3 lines, score lines, 1 inch, 1 3/4, and 4 7/8. Okay. Now there is one line that we need to do in the center of the cutting lines, and that is at 4 1/8. So let me just double check this again, make sure I'm catching the right one. Yeah. So 4 1/8 is literally the notch, because these all go up in 1/8 on our Simply Score tool. It is literally the notch just after the the 4. Now skip that, and we want to from here. Now if you struggle with this, it's quite handy to bring in a ruler at this point just to find the bit to score, and you can mark it if you want, or just use your ruler to score it all the way down. And then the same with the bottom half as well. Find your 4 1/8 mark, and then come up and give it a little notch so you know exactly where you're scoring. And this is the only score that you want in the center of those lines, okay? Nobody else should be in there with it. Okay, so hopefully you'll have something looking like this. Here goes. This is the bit that if this goes to plan, we all get a round of applause. Right, so your card would naturally want to fold. So these middle ones we're going to start with first. We're going to fold back. Now I don't talk about valleys and peaks and mountains and all that business because it just gets me even more confused. So I'm going to bend these in half like so, and I will crease it in a minute, okay? And then you'll find that these side pieces want to bow naturally. They'll either go upwards or downwards. You want them to push them down if they're going up, okay? So, and then we want to, because they're wanting to go down, to crease them down like that, okay? So put your one finger in front, one finger behind, and give it a squash. Oh, it worked. Good. So I adapted these measurements myself, and it took me, I kept putting the cutting line in the wrong place. I didn't actually have a problem with the scoring. Actually I did once and then I fixed it. So I'm just going to use the bone folder to just add those creases in there to make it nice and creased. There we go. And then when that stands up, you've got that lovely 3D effect with your central step card. That's all very well, but we're going to come and decorate this now. Now I have got a few bits of fluff going on down the edge here, which I'm just going to can either pluck it off or rub it off or do something. So that worked, good. Now I am going to use the same card. I'm trying to find my prototype, which I've lost. It's back to front, that's why. I'm going to use the same card that I used earlier because I liked the colours on it and I wanted something to match, and you'll see why in a minute. So I'm using this pretty paper here, which is from Kay says the fluff adds texture. That's a good point, Anne-Marie. It is very Art Deco shape, isn't it? Yeah, excuse me, I need a swig of tea. It's from Flowers for Everyday Designer Series paper, and this pack happens to have all the different new in colours that Stamp have come out with. So it's even, look, and it's got sort of flowers for all seasons. So you've got sort of Christmassy ones, autumnal ones, and they come double-sided. Oh look, my nails happen to match the bumblebee colour. Right, now for some cutting, more cutting. And we're going to fill in our card. So my first measurement, so I'm going to stick these on here so you've got reference. That's a good idea, isn't it? Okay, a good reference for you and a good reference for me. So we're going to, because these particular sheets come in 6x6, we're going to go nice and easy in half and do a 3-inch cut. And then we're going to have a centre panel here, so I want this one to be 3 inches by 3.5 inches. Okay, so that is that one. Oh, how about that way? It's quite multi-directional, thankfully. There we go, that's fine. And then let's have a look. What size is that? That's 3 inches, isn't it? I need 3 inches by 7/8. So 7/8 is the 2 notches on your trimmer if you've got this trimmer. So not that one, but the longer line. before you reach the 1 inch mark. And then you need two of these. Sorry, I've brought you down rather than the camera. So these slot down the sides like so. You don't have to worry too much about what goes on at the bottom because you can't really see that bit anyway. So you've got 2 pieces of the sides, and then I thought it'd be nice to have a sentiment strip along the bottom. So I'm going to use, what are you going to use, Esther? Earlier I used the Just Jade, but I am wondering whether, no, I'm going to use that for something else. No, stick to the plan. I'm going to use some more Just Jade. And this one is going to be 7/8 by 5 5/8. So again, the same slither as before, the 2 notches before the inch. And then we're just going to do it slightly shorter at 5 5/8. So 5 5/8. Find the 5 1/2, and then it's 2 of the little notches afterwards. That's how I remember it. But just in this case. Oh, I've cut my nails earlier. I can't pick anything up. Right, so I'm just going to put this down, and because I'm doing a live, people are commenting away, and I'm not caught up with comments yet. So I'm just going to. In fact, I might get gluing while I check comments. Very Art Deco, Read That Worm. This is one of my favourite sheets in the pack. So I think it was on Mitusu Crafts I was watching, and they were saying so often we want to hold on to our favourite pieces of paper, don't we? But actually, you're better off using your favourite ones. Sorry, I'm going to swap these around. No apology, I don't know why I'm apologising, because I want that flower to be facing that way. I just do. And that one could be facing inwards. I like things facing a certain direction. Okay. So, yeah, and I thought, yeah, it's so true, isn't it? We like to save our favourites in the pack and things. I've just got to be careful with this bit because you've got to kind of slide it in before you stick it down. So you're left with a tiny border around the edge, which is nice to frame the card. There we go. Before you finish, will you give us the folded finished card size, please? Yes, Trish. So, are you in the UK, Trish? Basically, I've done the measurements so they'd fit in a C6 envelope. I'm going to stick our panels down. The centre one does have a bit of a bigger border around it, but I wanted to try and have fairly easy measurements when it came to the paper bit. Alternatively, you can also stamp instead of doing this, but I think it's a nice way to show off. I think a lot of fancy fold cards are a nice way to show off designer series paper. Let's not hoard it, let's use it. I think that I've cut that wrong, you know. That one, don't know why. Just double check that. Should be a bit. Yeah, that is 3 inches by 3.5. Let me just check my prototype. It says 3 inches by 3.5. So why is that bigger then? It doesn't make sense to me. Oh well, I'm going with it. So So that's what we got so far. So we want to put a bit more decoration on this. So I'm going to be using the 1.5 inch circle punch with some bumblebee. Now this strip of paper is just a smidge too small, as you can see. So when I pop this out, it's going to have a straight line, but not to fear, because we've got some more decoration that's going to go on top of that. Mustn't forget to use that. So we're going to use the small, the medium, is it medium-sized daisy punch? And here's some card I used earlier. Now I'm actually using the thick Whisper White for this, just because it's more sturdy if you're using the daisies. And I'm going to use So Saffron, Daffodil Delight, and Mango Melody, rather, because I want to try and recreate a little bit the centre of these daisies. You don't need to do it on both, you just need to do it on one. So I'm just going to go around the circle. Actually, I think I could have used the lighter shade, but I did on my, everything I did on my prototype I'm not doing on this one. Never mind. Daffodil Delight. So we're going to build up a bit of colour and texture and highlights. Maybe just do a bit of a dotted design. And then going in with the darkest of the three, just right around the edge there. So just to replicate a little bit the design of the paper. Now if you want to, you can give this a bit of a little bit of a crease. And we're going to glue these together. Okay, so to add even more, kind of just to give it a bit of something, as they say, add some sprigs. I want to cut these in a way to get the most out of my card. I'm just going to see if I... There we go. So thankfully this sprig punch is carrying over. It's in our catalogue at the moment. So you can order yours if you like it, like what you see. You can order from my shop at stampinstarcreations.co.uk. Right, in order to give this a bit of lift, I'm going to stick the circle directly down. I'm going to put that where I've chomped it off at an angle, because we're going to pop our daisy there. Just seeing big dimensionals. Can't find the smaller ones at the moment. Oh well, let's just use a big one. There we go. I'm just going to position these sprigs behind the daisy. Bit of an angle. 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock. And we're going to pop it down like that. Okay. I thought what would be nice is to add some, got some Just Jade embellishment here. Can help to add a few finishing touches. Oh, I thought I carried it with me. Let's stick you there. Okay. Now what it needs is a sentiment. this bar is perfect to fit a sentiment on. Just going to show you. It's a bit tricky to see, isn't it? There we go. Really showcases that paper. It's so cool. I love all the colours. I wouldn't have necessarily put these lovely pinks and greens together, I don't think. Right, I'm thinking Itty Bitty Birthdays. Great stamp set to have if you don't have it already. Covers a lot of birthday sentiments. I was going to say centimetres. I might just go for a happy birthday or a... Let's have a look, shall we? So the happy birthday... We've got Let's Celebrate You. Can't believe you're another year older. Happy birthday is quite generic, isn't it? Can't go wrong with a happy birthday, can you? What does this say? At least you'll always be younger than me. That's quite funny to put on a card, isn't it? But not today. I'm thinking sticking with happy birthday. Now, this is ideal for scraps of white card that you've got lying around. Now, my inks have not arrived today. I was hoping the UPS man was going to bring me a parcel. So we could go... let me think. I don't know if that Blushing Bride is the right colour. I've got a feeling that pink is like a pale magenta. Could try Flirty Flamingo. Oh, choices. Okay, let's audition, as they say. Find out which is the best. Let's have a little see, shall we? On another strip of card I can stamp on. Oh, sorry, I've missed your comments. Right, K's right. Oh, Petal Pink. Is it Petal Pink? Well, according to the pack, so the great thing is when you do get your pack, on the labels it tells you what colours are in them, and it doesn't say anything. It says Magenta Madness, so I'm thinking it's a paler Magenta Madness. That's my thinking. So although in the screen it might look like Blushing Bride, in real life it's actually a little bit more pinky. Let's have a look. So can you see the difference? It's totally different sort of shade of pink. Right, I'm just going to stamp that off, and let's just try the Flirty Flamingo. Now, Flirty Flamingo stamped a second time, I think, does the trick. Way! Right, now for the real run. Did I bring my piercing? That would be useful. There we go. So I'm going to stamp off and then use the colour to... Got to stand up for this. Stamped off Melon Man, but yeah, possibly. I think this is probably going to be the nearest colour I get, actually. Because Melon Mambo is is a different colour again. But there we are. Now, let's have a look. We could leave it as a strip across. I've got some glue or something on here. Ah, that's better. Now, do you reckon we leave it as a strip all the way across? I think that works, don't you think? Hey, Joe. I'm thinking I'm not braving anything tonight. I've made too many mistakes. Oh dear. Let's go for it. There we go. Happy birthday. I think, you know, fancy fold cards just bring in just that extra bit of luxury. And this is the sort of card that you can give to somebody and they know instantly how to put it up. I'm just going to move you a different angle, so hopefully you get a better idea as to... I think, you know, it's so weird when you do videos because you don't really get to see in real life what things look like, unless I send you a card, obviously. Now, talking of which, here's one I made earlier. So, if you would like to be in with a chance of receiving this card here, it won't be the happy birthday one, it'll be this one. I might put a different sentiment on it. Then all you've got to do is leave, and I will announce the winner on next week's live. So whether you've left a comment on here on the, I think you've got to do it in the live. Ruth, are you there? Can you help me out with this one? I'm not sure if you can leave a comment afterwards or whether you need to do it now. So that was fun, and it means you can, you know, have a go with doing it with the different papers as well. Now, if you were one of the unfortunate ones that caught me earlier doing a live, I did make boo-boo. I wasn't going to mention it, but I will, because sometimes you need to make the boo-boos where you went wrong. So I went wrong with, you know, when you go wrong ever so slightly, it can put the whole card out. So is with this measurement here, look, can you see? So I needed to go one notch up there, and that was what would have made all the difference. But as you can see, if you try and fold that, it doesn't like it. It doesn't want to fold, okay? So it makes all the difference to get the measuring right, unfortunately. Numbers do count. Oh dear. Good. Right. If you are in the UK and you are interested in this month's card kit, I have got a few left, partly with Father's Day in mind, if you need it for that. I know not everyone celebrates it or needs the card for Father's Day, but I'm just going to quickly show you the cards that are available in the kit. So for £10 you get all the bits and the envelopes to make these cards. So they're all, the theme this month is ferns, foliage and fritilla. Don't know why I called it that, because I can't say it, but it's because it had a nautical theme. I only heard what fritilla meant like a few years, when was it? Oh, a good few years ago now, but I never heard of it before. I didn't know what it was. It's to do with like the ships and stuff and the royal family. I don't know if somebody can explain it better than I can. So yeah, if you're interested in one of those card kits, please get in touch at my email address. It's stampinstarcreations, but put at gmail.com at the end, and you can get hold of me. So what does Kay said something earlier? Ruth usually leaves a comment after the live is finished. Great, there you go, you can do that. That's what it's supposed to look like. Boy, did I ever go wrong trying it. Oh, Cindy, just don't follow me. I went wrong as well. Right, somebody asked about under the video, more details on in the comments. Right, so leave a comment after the video once it's uploaded. It takes time to upload. Somebody asked about the dimensions of the finished card. I don't know if you're still here, whoever asked that question. Trish Cox. It was you, wasn't it, Trish? Your name came to mind. Okay. So the finished card is... Oh, thank you, Anne-Marie. The Queen's Jubilee, a flotilla boats sailing down the Thames for the Queen's Jubilee. I knew it was related to the royal family. I knew it was to do with boats. And thank you for those thumbs up already, everybody. Okay, the finished... Oh, I've got ink on that. Great. Oh, dear. So the finished card just adds something, doesn't it? That adds a handmade touch. Is 5 7/8, and the tallest bit is 4 3/16. I'm going to call it. Okay, so it fits in your C6 envelope nicely. Okay, so don't forget to leave a comment after my live. Thank you for my 13 thumbs up. Don't forget to, you can thumbs me up afterwards. Leave a comment after the video, okay? Oh, Cheryl, you are late again. I'm just finishing. Look at that. And that would probably go as a normal letter in the UK as well. Folds nice and flat. So Cheryl, I'm not going to show you what we made. You're going to have to go watch the replay. Oh, I've frozen. Oh, somebody's calling. So yeah, go and leave a comment afterwards, and I will do the whole random selector thing. And it doesn't matter where you live. I'm happy to send it abroad. Just this once. Lovely to see you. That would not fit in our size envelopes. Trish, where are you? Thank you, Jeannie. No, it wasn't for once. So yeah, the whole reason why I have done this sizing is for UK sizing. There is a different size that will fit into a 6x6 envelope, and there are tutorials out there for US measurements already, hence trying to, and the reason why I did it like that means that you can get 2 cards out of our A4 size. Did the thumbs up and share to Pinterest, thank you. So if you want to know the measurements of this one is 5.5 inches by 11 inches. Okay, 5.5 inches by 11 inches. And it's scored at 1 inch, 2 inch and 6.5 inches. If you can see that, or 3 outward measurements. You might want to jot this down. And then that inward one is at, looks like 5.5 inches just. Okay, that one there is at 5.5. And then the cutting, I don't think I told you, did I tell you the cutting line? I didn't, did I? The cutting line is 5.5. Oh no, sorry, no, not 5.5. From 1 inch to 6.5. Sorry if I've confused you. So from 1 inch to 6.5. Does the screenshot measurements need amending, or are they okay? No, they are okay. This is spot on. The only way I went wrong was because I didn't quite go up to the, I missed an 1/8 of an inch when I got to this centre scoring there. So you've got to go, I was just literally 1/8 off. So do go up to your cut line, okay? Right. Thank you for bearing with. Nice to see you and have your company. I do want to have a go at doing some ribbon storage because I've got all the new in colours, and I'd like to maybe make some boxes for the new in colour ribbon. So that's my plan for next week, maybe over on Facebook or maybe here. I like to try and do the more measurements and the tutorials over here so that they're here for longevity, I guess. And they're easier to find if you want to look up. Now, some of you have been asking about my room. Is it tidy? How am I getting on with it? It's pretty much there, I would say, apart from my desk, which I'm forever trying to clear. Even my youngest son came in tonight and was like, oh, I like it in here. It looks really tidy, Mum. And he got loads of space, he said. It's done something right. And I hoovered the floor, which always makes a difference. So I will do my room tour, maybe tomorrow if I get a chance to watch this space. My post room tour. If you want to see the before, you can catch it on my channel. Oh, ribbon storage, the bane of my existence, says Trish. Well, mine's in a drawer at the moment, but I thought it'd be nice to have like a set for the new in colours. Oh, send some space here, says Wendy. Wendy, go and make space. Go and empty. Go and declutter and get rid. Get rid of the old and with the new. Great to have your company. Thank you for bearing with me, and I hope my measurements make sense for the UK and you can work that out. US people, like I said, there are other tutorials out there for inches and other measurements, so it's just nice to have UK measurements for when we do our cards. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for all those thumbs up. It's really appreciated. Don't forget, you can subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And if you hit the bell, it does give you the option for all notifications if you want them. So when I go live and if I've uploaded a new video. Okay. Take care. Nice to see you all. Good night. Take care. God bless. Bye for now, everyone. Bye.